Okay, the first one on the list is Larry West. Larry is running for state senator. 19th district for state senate.
I have to really speak up, okay? My name's Larry West. I am running for state senate in this area. This is part of my precinct, or this precinct is part of my district. I'm running against a very liberal state senator. If you see all of the votes for right to life, for example, they're usually 30 to 5 or something like that, and he's one of the 5. He always votes for pro-abortion. He has voted this past year to raise your state sales tax. There's no tax that he doesn't like. He's just that type of person. This is a very crucial election, as you may know. It is so crucial that I don't think our nation will survive unless God intervenes. Amen. I have developed a prayer sheet that, my name's on it, but so is everybody else's. I have it available at the candidates table. It is such that, since it doesn't say vote for me on it, you can distribute it in churches. It's actually 8 pages, folded in half, so it's actually 2 pieces of paper. And it's designed in such a way that if your church won't let you print out 2 pieces of paper, you can print out just the front and the back, and it still will work. In these next 2 weeks, in addition to your prayers and support, me and the other candidates here, we're going to need your help. That means your shoe leather. That means your time on the telephone. Okay, I've got a sign-in sheet that if you want to volunteer, and I do also, one thing that all the candidates have is brochures. Okay, I've got mine. Mine has the football schedule on the back. Feel free to take as many as you want, and the same for the other candidates here, and distribute, I can't really speak for all of them, but distribute them to your friends and your families, to your church, and just help us, because God has called us to run for office. I believe that. And God has called you to come here to help us to run for office. I believe that also. So the main thing that I want you to come away with tonight is that you pray for each one of us, that God will work with us through the next 2 weeks, that God will soften the hearts of the voters to vote for us and to help us. 2 books that I read a lot. One is the Bible, and the other is the Constitution, both the state and the federal. Okay, the state Constitution in Section 8 requires openness in government. They don't follow that. Okay, especially with the pension system. They want to hide how your money is spent. I'll never forget that it is your money that the state is spending. Section 46 says that all bills must be read at length, that means in its entirety, 3 times. That's not being done either. They try to get around it by saying, we just read the title only, and that constitutes reading the bill. There's a part of Section 51 that says, no bill shall be referred to by its title only. So we're going to follow, if you elect me, we're going to follow the Constitution, both the federal and the state Constitution. And I'm going to shake up Frankfurt.
Amen.
And get them to do what is right.
Good.
Thank you.
So my name is Shane Ranschaert. I'm a candidate for Louisville Metro Council District 14. That's PRP, Valley Station, and Cosmosdale. So the very southwest end of Louisville, right at the county line. We meet 2 counties, Hardin County and Bullitt County. So I am the youngest person to ever run for this office, and if elected, I will be the youngest person elected in state history. So those are just some couple of fun facts. I'm a blue-collar worker. I work for a small packaging company in J-Town. I stay pretty busy with that, and then I'm associate pastor at New Salem Baptist. I'm in charge of evangelism, recreation, and the youth ministry. So I work on many different facets for our church and in our community. I used to work for Louisville Metro Council. I was the Southwest Regional Coordinator for Districts 12, 13, 14, and 25. So I'm ready. I've been tested. I've got the experience. I'm in our community. I work with our young people, with our older people, and all ages. This is who I am. So what I'm going to do is just give you 3 issues that we want to address. And I'm going to tone it down now that I have a microphone. So let me check. Is this a good level for you? All right. So just 3 issues for us. It's the heroin epidemic. We see it really big in the southwest part of Louisville. We see a lot of people using in front of other people in our playgrounds, in our parks, in our shopping centers. We have a high increase of crime. One neighborhood in our community experienced 50 break-ins in 3 weeks. That's uncalled for. It's the highest rate of crime that we've ever seen, not just as a small community, but as a city. As a city, we have reached our 99th homicide. That's ridiculous. It's the highest number that we've ever faced as a city. We have a mayor, we have a metro council that are wanting to propose more regulations, more taxes on our small businesses and on our people of our community. Let me hear you holler or shout amen if you're against more taxes.
Amen.
All right, that's what I am. The last point of my card is opposed to tax increases. So with me, I'm pretty simple. We're going to fight crime. We're going to fight the heroin epidemic. We're pro-business. We're anti-tax. We want to see people in our community prosper. We want to see our city as the best place for people to live, raise a family, or start a business. We believe in the American dream, and we want to see it happen. Well, what I encourage you to do is 4 things. And all of us candidates here need this. 1, your time. Your time is one of your most valuable, precious resources. That's a lot of work. We need your time. Give us an hour. Give us 2 or 3 hours to come walk, knock on doors, make phone calls. Your treasure. Your second most, or even your most important resource, which you spent your whole life working for. We ask that you would share it with us just a little bit. We're conservatives, so you can trust that we're not going to waste it, like our Democrat friends. So we'd love for you to share just a little bit of your treasure. Mailers, they get expensive. It costs $31,000 for us to send out mailers to our community. Another thing is we ask for your prayers. Your prayers are the most important things. As a pastor, there is a God. I know He exists. I get to work and experience Him every day in people's lives. Pray for us, share your time, share your treasure with us, and then lastly, your talent. God has given each person in this room their God-given talents. I would love to tap into those, and I know our other candidates would. So, my name is Shane. Vote for me, District 14, Louisville Metro Council if you live there. If not, tell your friends, take some cards, and share them around. Thank you.
I heard Hillary Clinton was having some problems getting to the next candidate, to the next of her speech. Someone dislocated the alternator belt on her broomstick. I wish to say that I'm not the Republican candidate. I'm running as a third-party candidate. I'm not on your sheets tonight because I filed late on August 9th, but I am on the ballot so far as the general election is concerned. I'm running as a forefathers party because a few 6 months ago or so, I decided on my own to stop the mayor and the president of the University of Louisville and Ricky Jones from tearing down the Confederate War Memorial, and we stopped them. As the people who wrote down built the monument, they said a people who can forget or regard with indifference its patriotic dead is on the verge of national decadence and disgrace, from which there is no patriotic effort can save it, even if among a people any remnant of patriotic spirit can survive. There may come a time, but woe to the world if it shall come, when men will cease to feel it, this sentiment. When that time comes, all that make life worth living under God will have been banished from this earth. And I strongly believe that 21-day stay of execution for that monument and the subsequent firing of President Ranschaert of the University of Louisville and the subsequent investigation of the University Foundation kept that monument. It's going to be there, let me tell you folks, for a long time, and it was huge. Let me also say that about, I have nothing but respect and admiration for Harold Bratcher. What it takes for someone to step forward and run for Congress as a Republican. I was a Republican up to recently. I've worked for Republican candidates for 30 years. Mary Aaron Paul can tell you about that. And I have done everything from yard signs to contribution. I've been endorsed by Right to Life in the past. I believe in the principles of conservatism, and I believe in the principles which make this country great. The real issue is not myself or Harold Bratcher. It's the terrible record of John Yarmouth. Most recently, he's a life-term member of the Planned Parenthood. He was on their board, as you all know. He had a $180 million tunnel, the east-west tunnel on the East End Bridge built that was not necessary, only 1,000 acres from his house. And finally, he voted against, listen to this, against allowing the families of the 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia if they were culpable from that attack, which is one of the lowest, most scandalous things I've ever heard in my entire life. But the rest of my time I'd like to dedicate to the real races that are going on, because my race is just about this monument. And if you believe in this monument, you believe in not erasing history like George Orwell talked about and that the Communist Party talks about, I'd like to dedicate it to people like Sarah Provancher and Mike Nemes and all the other Republicans running for state representative, because in your hands will reside the future of Kentucky. In your hands will reside whether or not we have now reached 400,000 people that have visited the Ark in Kentucky. And that is because people like Sarah Provancher and Mike Nemes and many of the other state representatives, you stood up to Stumbo and his reign of error and terror in the state legislature. So your races are the most important. Dr. Simon can tell you that. Your races are the most important. And I just wanted to tell you how honored I am to come and speak before you. Personally, I'm a realtor. I'm a family. I took care of my mother from 15 to 41. So I'm single, but I'm getting a late start in life. I'm 49, if you can believe it. I was an only child, so I did have to take care of my mother. But she passed away not too long ago. But I do think that we need to focus. Your group has done such great work focusing on issues such as the Real ID card and blocking it, the issues regarding the ARC, issues regarding supporting Governor Bevin, who's done a masterful job taking on the terrible. What a great man Governor Bevin is, standing up to these crooks in the University of Louisville board, doing what we need to do. But let's try to stand together. You have a couple of great choices for Congress, and I hope you'll take a look at my site, CorleyCongress.com.
Harold Bratcher, who's also running for the 3rd Congressional U.S. District against Yarmouth. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Everett. You know, Everett's come out here tonight on independent ticket, and he's got a lot of great things. Talks about a lot of great things, too. It was a great stance that he had for the monument down there at U of L, and I'm glad somebody took a stand because that's what we needed. And that's a good conservative right there is Everett. My name's Harold Bratcher. I'm running along Everett against John Yarmouth for Congress. My wife, Michelle, and I, we've been married for 22 years. We've raised 3 kids in this district. I'm a lifelong Louisvillian, and I'm a small business owner. What I'm not a politician. I've never ran for office before. But, that doesn't make me any less of a candidate. I have a lot of great ideals. I own a small trucking company right here in Louisville, and we're in the trade business. And I'm in import-export. We haul intermodal containers. And about 70% of what we do comes into this country. That is our jobs. I mean, if you don't realize that 70% of all of the product comes into this country, and it's taking jobs away from each and every one of us every day. And that's what I want to stand up and fight about. In this election cycle, a lot of people like to talk about NAFTA. I've been against NAFTA for over 20 years. The North American Free Trade Agreement has cost over 1 million jobs in this country. It's cost a estimatedly 25% of our manufacturing industry. How can we survive that? What is replacing that? Even Ford today, or a few weeks ago, not to talk bad about Ford, but now they don't want to make small cars in America anymore. That is just taking more jobs from us every day, and we need to stop it. We need to get together with both sides, you know, the Democrats as well, and come up with a better plan for our trade. And TPP's coming down the pipe, and that's just going to hurt us as well. I mean, there's no trade agreement that this country has that benefits the American people. All it does is take jobs away. And, you know, and it causes us to have more taxes to pay for everything else. So we have to stand up now and fight for these jobs. That's what I like to talk about when I'm running, because that's a big thing to me. When I started this trucking company over 4 years ago, I did not realize then how much freight comes into this country. And we have to start making things in this country now so we have a job. We can't replace it. We need cheaper education. I got 2 kids in college right now. College costs a lot of money. To go to U of L costs over $10,000 a year, $40,000 for a degree, and that's if you live at home. You know, fortunately, my son stays at home because he can't afford the dorm fees, so I make him stay at home because it's a lot cheaper, since I have to pay for it. So anyway, but you know, we need to do something. You know, we have to work on our taxes, our trade, our health care. Rod told me a while ago that 25%, or the ACA is estimated 25% of our health care costs are going to go up next year.
25% next year.
How can we survive that? 25%. I mean, you just can't. And, you know, Everett, like you was talking about, take care of your mother. I took care of my grandmother back when she was had health problems. And, you know, she used to fall in the donut hole. Anybody here know what the donut hole is? Yeah. Exactly. You know, fortunately for her, she had a grandson that would work real hard and pay her bills or pay her prescription drugs that she couldn't afford to pay because of that donut hole. And we have to make sure that the people that built this country, that are retired now, still have health care tomorrow. Because if we don't, how are you going to survive? It's all about, you know, the government wants to take health care away to anybody as you get older, and we have to stop it. I'm willing to fight that fight, stand up. This district has been forgotten. Our current representative, John Yarmouth, does not listen to us. Right. If he ever has listened, he isn't listening now. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to run for this race. I'm just a constituent, just like everybody else, that was tired of my representation, and I wanted to do something about it. So that's why I put my name in a hat to run for this office, because we need a fighter. We need someone that's going to stand up and fight for this district, because we're not being fought for now. So again, my name's Harold Bratcher. I would greatly appreciate you to consider me when you go vote. We need all the help we can get in Washington, because it's not happening, you know, with our current representative. And if we don't win the presidency, we're really in trouble. Everybody on the down ticket needs to be voted in just to stop, you know, all the things that she wants to put in place that's really going to hurt all the people in this country. Again, thank you. It's a great crowd, and I enjoyed speaking to you.
Well, I'm not a pastor, but I can speak loud. It's great to see everybody here. Again, my name's Fritz Hollenbach. I'm running for the 7th District, which encompasses Fern Creek, J-Town, all the way up to Westport Road, roughly, and then all the way to the border of Jefferson County, includes Middletown, Eastwood, Fisherville. So it's a big district, largest district in Jefferson County, and 11 elementary schools, including Kennedy right over here, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools. Now, I'm a little distressed because I've turned your sheet over and I see that I am not recommended. So my job over the next, I have about 4 minutes, is to try and get you to say, let's take a look at this guy. So I left my information back there, but I'm going to give you a quick synopsis that I share with Dell back here, and see if I can't help you not waste your vote. Not waste your vote, because the incumbent is absolutely the opposite of most of what you believe. And a vote for someone besides me is throwing away your vote. So I was a Jefferson County school teacher, became an assistant principal, changed careers. I was very fortunate with the company that I belonged to. We grew substantially to $3.5 billion. I became the senior administrative officer, public company, 25,000 employees, 83 locations around the world. But Louisville's always been my home. My relatives, Todd and Todd Jr., county judge, and now district court judge, long history of service, and I hope to carry on in that tradition. So I spent some time with some folks in school reform efforts. And as I spent time in it, I saw that our bureaucracy in the school is not interested in either saving money, improving test scores, or doing what needs to be done to restore some discipline and honor in our schools. So I had a number of people who encouraged me to run, and I said, okay, you know, it's time to stand up and participate. So people ask, so why are you doing this? And I say 4 words. We can do better. We must do better. We cannot have a vibrant economy if we have only 80% of our school kids graduating. We cannot have a vibrant community where we have 1/3 of those who graduate are deemed not career ready. Now get this number. We have 50%. That's 50% of our 3rd graders at the end of the 3rd grade. They don't read at 3rd grade level, but get passed on to 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. And when they get to high school, they graduate and they wonder, well, I can't really do the basic things I need to do to have a career. That's just not acceptable. So we need to change our 3rd grade reading pledge into 3rd grade reading guarantee. And we have to hold all stakeholders, parents, those kids, our administrative group, accountable to say, if you're going to school in Jefferson County, you're going to public schools, we're going to teach you to read. I am focused on those areas. Let me tell you one other thing that I think is something that I've read about your organization, and that is, you know, this year, 2016, is the 25th anniversary of the first charter school. Do you know that? So it's called the Quiet Revolution because there are now over 7,000 charter schools. There's 3 million youngsters in charter schools. Half of all students in Cleveland and Detroit are in charter schools, and 1/3 of all students in Indianapolis and Cincinnati and one other city are in charter schools. Kentucky is one of only 7 states that have no charter schools. It is coming, and one of the things we need to do is make sure we get it right. And so I'm here to pledge to you that I'll listen, make sure we get it right, so that if you want to have an option in a failing school, you'll have that option.
Okay, what are your views on Common Core?
So on Common Core, obviously the state has the direction on that. So I would submit that we need to get the right candidates that are going to overturn Common Core. And if we don't, it's going to be difficult for any local district to do that. So I need to wrap up. I do want to thank you for your attention. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor. Obviously, if you live in the district, please vote. And if you can, ask 1 or 2 other people to vote because it's the last thing on the ballot. And if you vote straight party ticket, it doesn't count. You've got to make a affirmative election because it's nonpartisan. Thank you very much.
I am truly honored, first by God, because I know that God takes ordinary people to do extraordinary things. God qualifies our leaders. So my name is Shenita Rickman. I'm a candidate for State Senate in District 33. District 33 is the only district in our city with the highest number of families living in poverty. District 33 has recently had 327 shootings, 94 senseless murders. The person that's been over District 33 has been in this position for 27 years, and it's time for a change. I am a proud Republican. I'm hitting the streets. I'm knocking on doors. I'm putting out signs. I'm educating the mindsets. I stand for religious liberty. I stand for pro-life. When I talk of the 58 million babies that has been murdered in our country, it breaks my heart. It's time for a change.
That's right.
When I talk of the poverty, the families living below the poverty level, it's time for a change. District 33 is an area of our city that's in need of drastic changes. And I propose, as your next state senator of District 33, to work to push the legislation to bring in the economic freedom zone. Rand Paul has a bill, it's a House Bill 790 called Economic Freedom Zone. It's designed for areas of our city that's dealing with chronic poverty. And when you walk to knock on doors, when you get answers to doors, the lack of development in District 33 is the most important thing that we have to fight for. It's not safe to walk in District 33. It's not safe for your children to play in District 33. I stand before you today as a candidate fighting for results. And those results are development of our city, improvement of our policies, reforming, eliminating all the bills that is killing our innocent blessings from God. And that's our babies. I'm fighting for my grandchildren. I'm fighting for your grandchildren. I ask for you to do your research. Vote November the 8th. Shenita Rickman. District 33 covers West Louisville, Portland, Shively, and the East End all the way around to Brownsboro Road. We have received the sponsorship from the Right to Life, from the Forum, for the CPC, the Commonwealth Policy Center. And when I say we are out here educating the mindsets of the Democratic Party, challenging them to research their culture, challenging them to vote Republican, to take a stand, to speak up, and make the changes needed in our community. I am in favor of charter schools, school vouchers. I feel it's a parent's choice as far as the educational institution that their child attend. I feel that a one-size-fits-all educational platform does not work for our children.
Chief Conrad publicly endorsed Hillary Clinton.
You're so right.
As a policeman.
You're so right. I propose that the devastated areas of our city, such as West Louisville and Portland, be incorporated. That way we'll have our own policing. We'll have help. We'll have our own city government. We can see the allocation of funds for development. So I propose the incorporation of the devastated areas in District 33. And once again, I'm honored to stand before you. And I thank you for your invite. And vote November the 8th. Thank you.